Hello and welcome back to another episode of our People of Pronto interview series. Today we have a treat for our listeners. I'm joined by someone I've had the pleasure of working closely with during my time managing the search and advertising team, and someone I continue to collaborate with on several other SEO initiatives for Pronto Marketing. One of our most experienced SEO specialists is with us today, Ruben. We'll be diving into his world of SEO, exploring team dynamics, client success stories, and the future outlook of the industry. So, welcome to the show, Ruben. How's it going?
Hey, Matteo. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on the podcast.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited too. We've worked together for a few years already, and I'm actually really excited to unveil more to our audience and our listeners what you do on a daily basis. So, starting off, I've always been curious about what draws someone into the intricate world of SEO, especially in a place as dynamic as Pronto Marketing. So, could you maybe briefly give us an introduction of your journey into becoming an SEO specialist at Pronto Marketing, and what sparked your interest in this field?
Yeah, sure thing. I think my first experience in SEO and digital marketing in general started when I was in the third year of university, I would say. Back then, I got the opportunity to do an internship at one of the largest hotel chains here in Thailand. I was mostly working in digital marketing, so I was doing email marketing and social media. But I also got the opportunity to work on some SEO related tasks. Primarily related to link building. I remember one of these tasks, for example, was reaching out to travel bloggers and basically inviting them to come and stay at one of the resorts in return for backlinks and other type of content. And my experience was back then was very positive in terms of digital marketing and SEO, and I just really enjoyed the work that I was doing. So from that moment onwards, I basically knew that I wanted to learn and grow more in this field. And after I graduated, which was back in Amsterdam, I wanted to move out of my comfort zone. So I decided to completely move to Thailand and start working there. And while I was searching for a job, I came across this job posting of Pronto Marketing. And they were looking for a marketing services producer, which wasn't really related to SEO. It was more focused on digital marketing itself. I applied and fortunately got hired. And I was mostly taking care of marketing services back then. So I was doing email marketing, I was taking care of custom blogging, social media, and some other marketing add-on services such as ebooks. But despite the fact that my role wasn't really related to SEO, I always just liked SEO. I think there are so many interesting factors of SEO. For example, just having to put yourself in the shoes of the searcher and really have to understand what the searcher is looking for and what type of results need to show up when they perform a type of search. And basically just making sure that your content is aligned with the searcher intent. These things were always so fascinating in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I would say also that um, just the fact that there's constant new updates in the world of SEO. There's trends change over time, user behavior changes. There's constantly new algorithm updates. So there's new things to learn and explore every day in the world of SEO, and I think this makes SEO a lot of fun and it makes it very exciting. So with these things in mind, I expressed my interest in SEO and um, back then I was working at Pronto for 2 years as a marketing services producer. And eventually I got the opportunity to move to the SEO team. And that's now 2.5 years ago. Feels like yesterday though. Time
Yeah,
flies.
time flies.
Yeah.
It's funny, I didn't know about you having the experience working in the hospitality industry, which is interesting. But yeah, that's awesome. And I can hear the passion in your voice when you talk about SEO now. Um, can you share a piece of advice for those just starting out in SEO today, if you have anything for them?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I would say first of all that SEO could be very complex and could become quite overwhelming if you just start fresh. So I would not dive into all different topics altogether. I would just
Mhm.
pick one topic first. So, yeah, for example, there's technical SEO, there's local SEO, there's on page of off page SEO. There's so many different things um, to learn about. So I would pick one of these and yeah, just play around a little bit. See which topics you are really interesting to you, and yeah, just start reading some blogs, some articles of industry leaders, and watching some videos on YouTube. I think that would
Mhm.
be a great start.
Awesome. Yeah, you mentioned this. The SEO landscape is ever evolving, demanding adaptability and collaboration. How would you describe the team dynamics at Pronto Marketing? How does your team come together, especially during challenging projects with clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that the dynamics within our team are mostly driven by the belief that um, we together as a team can achieve remarkable results. For example, like one thing we do in the SEO team is we catch up on a weekly basis, and during these weekly meetings, we talk about learning points, we talk about industry updates, we talk, for example, about when there has been a big algorithm update, or whenever a specialist learned about a new SEO practice that we could perhaps implement into our workflows to yeah, increase the value of our services. But yeah, other things we cover during these meetings obviously are complex issues and challenging projects. And I think in these type of occasions or situations, we yeah, we just ask each other for advice, and sometimes we also just need a fresh perspective because yeah, like I just mentioned before, SEO could be quite complicated. And
Hmm.
yeah, the team is just always there to help each other. And one thing I would say that's very nice working together with this team is that, in my opinion, we have such a diverse range of expertise. So, for example, one specialist might be more experienced in technical SEO, or one specialist might be more familiar with a certain industry, or someone might be better in client communication. And I think that we do a great job in leveraging all these different expertises to come up with the best possible solution for these complex issues and challenging projects. And I think this also results in the fact that everyone's contribution in the team is important, and I think that creates a very nice vibe and atmosphere within the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, collaboration is absolutely key, especially when you work with different types of clients in different industries, but you have the opportunity of having team members that have, as you said, experience in different areas or more experience in one area than the other. And actually, the great thing about SEO, well, it could be a blessing and a curse, but like just the other day, we were on a call with a colleague of ours, and he said, would somebody disagree with this thing that you are suggesting about how to optimize a certain page? Like SEO is not a black and white thing. It's a
Yeah,
process driven activity, but there are different ways to achieve like probably the same result. Um, and again, it's more becoming more and more of a science, but it's still like a lot of trial and error. Of course, the more you do it, the more you can sort of understand how the ranking algorithm works. It's almost like playing a chess game. The more games you play, the more you can anticipate your opponent's moves. But I agree with you that collaboration is so important, especially at Pronto. I think like the team, like you're saying, is so tight, and everybody can bring their own fresh perspective. And I've always been, sort of a believer that teamwork can be or can make or break sort of a project at times. I'm sure you've potentially witnessed some positive moments of collaboration, like you've just said at Pronto. Can you maybe share a story where collaboration within the team directly contributed to a client's success?
yeah, I think there are two stories popping up right now that I can quickly share with you. The first story is actually a very recent one. It happened last month, and it happened actually during one of these SEO meetings that I was just talking about.
Mhm.
So what happened is one of the specialists in our team was serving a client, and they were quite struggling to rank locally for their Google My Business listing. And we've had multiple discussions about what kind of optimizations and other tweaks we potentially could apply to their listing in order to get their rankings up. And we did see some improvement over time, but it was just very fluctuative. Like one month the rankings would go up, and then the next month it would slightly drop again, and that would happen for a few months in a row. And yeah, we just knew more was possible. So one day we got together, we had a meeting, and we all did some preparation in advance. So we did some research about some other tweaks that we've never touched before that we potentially could apply. And what we ended up doing was we made some small tweaks to the name of the listing, and we made some other technical tweaks, and the results were actually pretty amazing. I think it took a day or two before we already start to see some ranking improvements. And after a month, that same listing was ranking within the top three for some parts of their service area. And yeah, I think that was a very nice experience and example of good team collaboration. And the second story happened actually with one of my own clients. So this client in particular, they just had a new website, so they had barely any authority build up. So yeah, they had zero referring domains, no backlinks basically, and yeah, their domain authority was very low. I think it was below 5. Yeah, just very low, and they were targeting a larger area and a quite competitive area in the United States. I think it was the Bay Area, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, because of their new website and the competitive area, they were just struggling to see any ranking results. So what I did is I reached out to one of the seniors back then in the team, and we we basically came up with a strategy where we would split that larger area up into multiple location pages for individual cities located within that larger area. And we did this because these individual cities we're less competitive, but still at a decent search volume. So that basically means that there are quite a lot of people living in these areas or living in these cities who often search for these keywords or for the services that that client was providing. And I think it took 2 to 3 months before some of these locations actually started to rank within the top 10. And as soon as the client started to rank very well for um, the majority of these locations, they also started to rank well for that larger area. So yeah, that was also a nice win-win situation, I would say, and a result of good collaboration within the team.
That's awesome. What are the sort of the next steps once you experience such a win for a client or more clients? Are there any other sort of activities, or like, are those strategies then going to be rolled out to multiple clients given the success that you had with maybe an initial client? How do you try to replicate more of these successes across the client portfolio?
Well, it's quite tough because it's not we are not able, like in SEO, it's customization and a tailored approach is so important for every single industry. So we can't just replicate every strategy that we had success with one client. It might work for one client, but it might not work for another client because yeah, they would serve different locations or different cities, or they would be in completely different businesses. So yeah, replicating the exact same strategy does not work. But yeah, we would always have meetings about like learning points and things we've did great, and we would um, I would say we would create similar processes as we've did with clients we had success with in the past, and make sure that we apply the same sort of processes in and update our documentation, and yeah, make sure that we yeah, basically apply the same processes for future clients.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, this leads me to my next question. I mean, I'm sure every client brings a different set of needs and expectations to the table. And I'm sure that you, over time, must have encountered a number of clients with unique needs and expectations themselves. How do you tailor your approach? And I think you have a little bit touched on this, but how do you tailor your approach to ensure the client feels taken care of?
Yeah, we've definitely served a diverse range of clients over the past few years. I think to ensure that every client feels taken care of, definitely a personalized approach is key. One
Mhm.
thing we do in the SEO team is during the onboarding process, we always try to make sure that we get the best possible understanding of the client's business. So this means that whenever a client signs up, we would send a set of questions to the client, and these questions could, for example, be what are your goals? What are your most important services? Who do you serve to? In which area do you serve? And who are your competitors, for example? And once we've got that clear understanding of the client's business, it's so much more easy and helpful for us as well to come up with a tailored and customized approach for the client's business and for their website. And secondly, a thing that we an approach that we started to implement more and more recently, and whenever a client signs up, we use this for most clients nowadays. Is we perform a website audit, and these website audits basically these basically identify the the issues, the technical errors that are currently present on the website. It would also identify the new opportunities. It would identify the current website structure and some other important SEO related information. And once we've completed these website audits, we make sure that we fix all the technical errors so there's no errors left on the website, and we've applied the best practices in terms of SEO for the most important pages of the website. So we've taken advantage of all the opportunities and removed all the errors. So we basically start off well from the beginning.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this obviously sounds like a comprehensive approach to me. In your experience working with potentially, like I would say at this point, dozens of different clients, do you think often clients come in with their own set of ideas of what they want to do, or is there usually more of a discovery phase at the beginning where you with the client try to understand, like you said you send this onboarding questionnaire to every client, but I wonder how many clients already have a very clear idea of what they want to do, and how many instead rely more on your expertise.
In my opinion, I would say 95% of the times we would get into a discovery phase when the client signs up. Most of the clients don't subscribe to our services with already an idea of what they want to achieve. I once had one client who they subscribed to one of our SEO services, and they basically completely gave me the entire approach that they want us to apply. But that was
Hmm.
just once. Normally, we would figure out a strategy together with the client.
Understood. Yeah, that makes sense. SEO is quite technical, and it's for some people, actually, for most people, it can still feel a lot like a black box. Like SEO is that one thing that you need to do in order for your website to appear on the first page of Google. But what's behind it is kind of like a big mystery for many people. And I understand how, like, sometimes a client may know that they want to appear for a certain key phrase, keyword, um, but ultimately they don't know whether that keyword is competitive, whether their website is authoritative enough for them to compete for that keyword right away, or if they need to start doing something a little bit easier before getting to tackle those more competitive search terms. So yeah, I totally understand why. SEO can also be easily misunderstood, in my opinion, with clients having the expectation about getting immediate results. And handling these expectations must be a crucial part of your job as an SEO specialist. How do you manage situations where a client's expectations might not align with the realities of SEO?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think managing client expectations is a very vital part of being an SEO specialist.
Mhm.
I think when expectations are not realistic, the chances from the client's perspective are very likely to have a bad experience or just a negative satisfaction overall. Um, and I think that's definitely something you want to avoid as a business who provides SEO related services. I remember once a client reached out to one of our specialists, and they were saying something in the lines of, "Hey, we've noticed that one of our competitors is currently ranking on the first position for this keyword, and we want to outrank them." So they were basically saying, "Okay, we want to rank on the first position for this keyword as well. So we want to do better than our competitor." And they made it sound like from their perspective it took quite long before they actually started to see results. And we all know that SEO is is for the longer term in most cases. And we then had a look at their subscription, and it turned out that they were subscribed to that particular SEO service for, I think it was less than a month.
Mhm.
What I remember, they were 3 weeks in. So yeah, we had to tell the client that it would most likely take longer than a few months before they can actually start ranking very well for that keyword or on the first position. So I think, yeah, whenever client expectations are not aligned with the realities of SEO, I think it's so important to be very clear in communication. One thing we always try to do as SEO specialists is we always try to do our best to make the client understand that SEO should be seen as a sort of long term investment. We would always provide a sort of indication of how long it will actually take before they can actually start to see results. And I think this is primarily based on the client's business and their service area, because obviously the less competitive their business is or the less competitive their service area is, the more easy in most cases it will be for the client to see ranking results more quickly as well. And secondly, I also think that whenever expectations are not realistic, it's important to let the client understand our processes. So what I mean by that is we try to keep the client always in the loop and keep them involved in our processes. For example, whenever we feel like it's necessary to make a certain optimization, or um, we discovered an error on the client's website, a technical error that needs to be fixed, we would always let the client know. And besides that, we also provide transparent reporting on a month by month basis. And these reports basically show the results that the client has been getting throughout the month, but it also shows the progression and impact of our work. And I think that's very important to share with the client as well. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's all about finding the right balance between what the client wants and what's actually possible in the world of SEO. And I think once you've found that balance, it's, I would say, more easy to establish better relationships and build more trust with the client.
Yeah, I feel like being an SEO specialist in today's world is a lot about doing the actual work, so being tactical, building links, optimizing website um, for SEO on page, off page, but it's also a lot about educating. So there's a lot of that aspect built into the role itself. And as SEO specialists dealing with clients, you, I'm pretty sure, need to be extremely patient, be able to convey a message that sometimes can be technical and difficult through analogies, maybe using examples that people can potentially relate better with their real sort of day-to-day lives. And I mean, it's fun at the end of the day, but obviously I understand and I agree with you. When somebody understands how the process of ranking their website looks like, it makes it much easier for them to see that it's a process, exactly like you said. It's not like a switch that you turn on and off, like potentially could be doing a Google Ads campaign or a Facebook ad campaign. So yeah.
Yeah.
Ruben, given the ups and downs of the SEO world, like you've just described over the past few minutes, what keeps you motivated and passionate about this work?
Good question. I think there are so many different factors that keep myself, and I think I can speak for the other specialists within the team as well, that keep us motivated and passionate about our work. If I would have to name a few points, I would say firstly is it's just the satisfaction of getting tangible results for our clients. I think it always makes us so happy, and it gives us such a positive feeling whenever we see the website of one of our clients climb up in the ranking results, or when we see organic traffic increasing on a month by month basis, or ultimately just helping the client to achieve their online goals. And I think that's just very rewarding to see, and it could be seen as some sort of a testament to the effectiveness of our work and the value that we bring to the client's business. And the second point, I think this is something I shared with you in the beginning of this podcast, is just the fact that SEO just constantly keeps evolving. Search engines constantly keep updating their algorithms. User behavior changes from time to time. There are constantly new trends. Like we all know, what's going on with AI. I think there are some very exciting times ahead of us. So, yeah, this constant evolution of new things will also result in new things to learn and explore almost every day. And I think this learning aspect makes our job very exciting and fresh. Um, yeah,
I relate 100% with both of your points. I think it's exciting when you see your website or the website of the client you're working for climb up the rankings, getting those people sort of joining in or visiting the website from organic search. That's obviously what SEO is all about. Um, and yeah, I mean, the fact that SEO is an ever evolving field makes it exciting, stressful at times, but exciting nonetheless. I think it's really nice to be able to continuously keep yourself up to date. And honestly, I feel like the best SEO specialists are the ones that keep evolving and don't get stuck in the past and in past techniques and tactics that potentially, eventually they get obsolete. And if you really don't evolve with the new technology like AI nowadays, you're probably going to left behind sooner or later.
100%. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Um, One last question for me. We have potentially listeners out there, some of whom might be future clients or just curious about our commitment to excellence. What message would you like to share to them about the heart and soul of our SEO team, about the dedication and expertise of your team?
I would say that if you are considering to subscribe to one of Pronto Marketing's SEO services, I think it's important to know that our team isn't just only committed, like we are genuinely enthusiastic about our work. We always try to come up with the best possible solutions, and we are always learning about the newest trends and best practices in SEO to make sure that we are able to provide the best possible service to you. And secondly, I think we have a lot of experience with a lot of different industries. Of course, like creating strategies for IT companies is sort of our bread and butter, but we have also a proven track record and I would say a lot of experience with other different industries. For example, law firms, medical companies, financial companies, construction companies, roofing companies, cleaning companies, all sorts of different businesses that we are familiar working with. And I think this also makes us realize that SEO isn't just a one size fits all solution. We know that it really requires a customized approach, and I think that's why our team excels at tailoring strategies for the needs of every client.
I love it. Yes, thank you so much, Ruben. I honestly enjoyed having this conversation with you. Um, Thank you all for tuning in into this eye-opening conversation. It's always a great pleasure to delve into the intricacies of SEO with someone so passionate, just like Ruben. Remember to stay connected for more insightful interviews with the people of Pronto. Until next time, keep thriving and stay inspired. Bye.
Bye bye.